sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. May our respectful homage be to our great teacher, our Pinnath Loku Swamin Wahanse, most venerable Pinnath Loku Swamin Wahanse. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo Buddhaya, everybody.
Namo Buddhaya Pinacharanswer.
Namo Buddhaya Pinnath Swamin Wahanse.
Namo Buddhaya Bante.
Namo Buddhaya Swamin Wahanse.
Namo Buddhaya.
Namo Buddhaya Bante.
Namo Buddhaya.
Namo Buddhaya Bante.
Namo Buddhaya. So we are so lucky to meet like this to talk about something very, very important that was very precious. Recently, our Pinnath Loku Swamin Wahanse wrote this great book about our great teacher Supreme Buddha. So we are very grateful to our Loku Swamin Wahanse for giving this extraordinary explanation about the great enlightened being in our world, the Supreme Buddha. And then I would try my best to talk about something from this book, but I guess that I would not be able to explain everything that Loku Swamin Wahanse feels about our teacher Supreme Buddha. I would try my best to talk many things as Loku Swamin Wahanse explains, but we'll try. You know this book, the name in Sinhala is Acharya Manusso, which means the extraordinary enlightened being. Okay, Manusso is the human being. And then here you see the name of our Loku Swamin Wahanse in Sinhala. Most Venerable Kiribathgoda Jnanananda Thero. And then at the back page you see something in Pali and in Sinhala. I just explained something about that too, to talk about the book. Loku Swamin Wahanse wrote in Pali like this: Sattarahang cha vatahang passeya bhagavantang meva passeya. It means, if I see a teacher, it is from the Dhamma, it is from the scriptures. Loku Swamin Wahanse extracted this. If I see a teacher, indeed I see the Blessed One. Sugatang cha vatahang passeya bhagavantameva passeya. If I see a sublime one, indeed I will see the Blessed One. Samma sambuddhang cha vatahang passeya bhagavantameva passeyan. If I see a supremely enlightened one, indeed I see the supreme Buddha. Okay, and then at the end he says, Loku Swamin Wahanse writes, Sattha me bhante bhagava savko hamasmi. Sir, the Blessed One, you are the teacher, I am the disciple. Sattha me bhante bhagava savko hamasmi. Sir, the Blessed One, you are the teacher, I am the disciple. So it's something very beautiful at the end of the book, you see. So what does this mean? So we should have that idea for the first time when we take this book into our hand. This is my teacher, the Buddha. I am the disciple. That was the powerful message that Loku Swamin Wahanse wants you to have in your mind. Right? It is all about the Shraddha. And then if I do not become a good disciple of the Supreme Buddha, we will not be able to follow his teachings. If we do not accept if we do not accept the Supreme Buddha as my teacher, we will not be able to be a good disciple of the Supreme Buddha. And then what if we talk about the following of his teaching? It doesn't mean that. So Loko Swamin Wahanse's main idea to give you from this book is being a good disciple, developing Shraddha or the faith or the confidence in your mind in the Buddha, towards the Buddha. And how do we do this? We just need to know about the qualities of our Supreme Buddha. If we just need to develop our Shraddha or the confidence. If you want to follow the teachings of the Supreme Buddha, we just need to build up this for the very first moment. And then with that being said, we just have a big respect to this book, and that respect absolutely goes to our Loko Swamin Wahanse for his great work. So, and then if you have any question about anything that you don't understand this, feel free to ask, okay? Okay, you can ask questions and I will try my best to... Yes, okay. And then, as usually you see in our Sinhala translations, we have we have something from the Buddha's words in this page. I will just explain that. It is in Pali like Dhammo hi vasetta setto jane tasmin ditte cheva dhamme abhisamparayecha. Vasetta. Vasetta is a good disciple who came to listen to the Buddha. Buddha says, Supreme Buddha says, Vasetta, Dhamma is the greatest here and hereafter. Buddha explains, here and hereafter means in this world and in the next world. Dhamma is the greatest, nothing else. Nothing else is greatest or great. Dhamma is the greatest. Maybe Dhamma is the only protection we have in this life, and Dhamma is the only protection we have for the next world as well. Okay, that's why Buddha says that Dhammo hi vasetta setto jane tasmin ditte cheva dhamme abhisamparayecha. That is something usually we see in mostly all of the books at the beginning, and we have that here too. I think it would be a good idea to you to have a pencil and a paper or maybe an exercise book to write down many important information about the Buddha I share from this book, okay? And then maybe it would be helpful to you to recollect the quality of my teacher, Supreme Buddha. And then we will have a good collection at the end, right? And we will try to explain, maybe if we are lucky. And it would be a great idea. And then as the introduction, Loko Swamin Wahanse explains something very, how do I say this? Maybe this is something very important about the refuge. Buddha's Loko Swamin Wahanse explains. So from our childhood, as maybe mostly in Buddhist countries, in schools and everywhere, when we begin something or when we start a meeting, maybe at the school, in the class, or wherever you go, we say Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, Dhammang Saranang Gacchami, and then we observe precepts. But it is a tradition. It was just a tradition we followed, but we did not know the real meaning of that. What is the real meaning of Buddhang Saranang Gacchami? It is not a mere expression. It is not a mere sentence we just recite all the time. It is not. But we had that idea. Saying Buddhang Saranang Gacchami is just a way that we start a new thing. That was the idea. Just the normal people thing. And then, but Lokuswami says, when we come to the scriptures of the Supreme, when we read the Dhamma, when we refer the books about Dhamma and Vinaya, maybe you know about Vinaya. Vinaya is the disciplinary rules Buddha explains according to the Dhamma. And when we read the scriptures about Dhamma and Vinaya, we absolutely see who the Blessed One is, who the Buddha is. And then Buddha is extremely, how do I say, unsurpassed human being in the world. And the teaching is extraordinary, and the teaching is marvelous and excellent, and that is something no one can understand without a teacher like that. And then Dhamma, and then the Buddha and the Dhamma are the Acharya Adbhuta, which means extremely extraordinary and excellent and incredible thing in the world. So when someone reads the teachings, maybe from the eyes open, okay, they see the Buddha and the Dhamma. And again, Lokuswami also explains that in the world, everywhere in the world, maybe in a Buddhist country, maybe in somewhere else in the world, Buddha's teaching is available, and many sources you see about the character of the Supreme Buddha, and maybe the Prince Siddhartha and everything. People talk about that even in the country like this, okay? But this is a book is not like like a normal book. This is not a thesis or something. This is not an experiment or something. Lokuswami says that Lokuswami wrote this book. Lokuswami gave you this book according to his Shraddha, out of his Shraddha, out of his confidence towards the Supreme Buddha. Lokuswami wrote this, he says. And again he explains the Buddha, the enlightened being, and his teaching, the Dhamma, and the noble Sangha, the disciples of the Supreme Buddha, are connected together. To talk about the Supreme Buddha, Lokuswami speaks about the Devas, the beings in the other worlds, maybe in the heavenly worlds, and maybe in the Brahma worlds, the beings, Brahma beings in high divinities. He talks about the beings like that to explain the unsurpassed quality of the Supreme Buddha. You know about the quality is called Lokavidu and as well. And Buddha was the teacher for these three worlds, to the human world, to the heavenly worlds, and to the Brahma worlds. And at the end of the introduction, Lokuswami says that Acharya Manusso, the name of this book, Acharya Manusso, is given to you If you can say at the end, if you can say Buddhang Saranang Gacchami at the end of this, and at the end of your reading of this book, if you can wholeheartedly say Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, Loko Swamin Wahanse says that that's enough. He doesn't expect many things from this book, rather than you go for refuge to the Supreme Buddha, keeping your joint palms together, Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, wholeheartedly, because the refuge is the most powerful thing if you want to go on the path to the Nibbana. If you want to practice deeper and deeper in the Dhamma, you just need this Shraddha and the confidence in the Supreme Buddha, saying Buddhang Saranang Gacchami. Again, if I go to the last page, Loko Swamin Wahanse explains, the Supreme Buddha is my teacher, I am the disciple. The Supreme Buddha is the teacher, I am the obedient disciple. That is the idea. I am ready to listen to the Supreme Buddha. It is just the meaning of this. And then, look, at the end of the introduction, Loko Swamin Wahanse gives you a powerful blessing. May you be very fortunate to go for refuge to the Supreme Buddha. And then maybe you receive that blessing from our Loko Swamin Wahanse. May you be very fortunate to go for refuge to the Supreme Buddha wholeheartedly. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And then to the Loko Swamin Wahanse offers this book to Satpurusa Kalana Mituranta, which means the noble friends. The offering is to noble friends and to those who get the Dhamma, the Buddha's word, into wise consideration. He offers this book to the noble friends and to those who take the Dhamma, the Buddha's word, into wise consideration. He offers this book. Okay. We will come to the first chapter. It is about Acharya Manussa again. And in that chapter, Loko Swamin Wahanse starts the explanation about the current world. And Loko Swamin Wahanse says the people in the world, even today, they say that we are very developed. People say that, and they have that feeling, we are developed. If I explain a little bit more, people think that we use the technology, we have the science and many well-developed instruments, we have many devices, and then the health is well developed, and we have a good transportation systems in the world, the highways, and then the cities, big cities, many things. Thinking about that, people say that we are very developed today. But people do not know about the history of our life. What was the history of our life? Eons and eons, again and again and again, over and over and over, again and again, we have come in a longest journey, endless journey called samsara. You know, the meaning of samsara is the repeated existence or the repeated life going in a repeated cycle, being born and dying, being born and dying. It is endless cycle. And then you know that if I explain it a little bit, in the samsara, people or the beings or the sentient beings, they are born and they live and they die and they are reborn again. Reborn not as the same person or not as the same animal. So we die as humans, maybe if we have good merit, we will be born in a good realm after this life. Even if we do not have good merit is the karma or merit or the punya, you say, you know that. If we do not have that punya, that good karma, we will not get a good rebirth next time. Maybe we will be reborn in a bad realm in our next life if we do not have the good merit. So when we die here, we are born, and when we are born in this world as human beings like you and me, we were somewhere else before, and we do not know where it was. We do not know about that because we do not have that wisdom or the knowledge to see the place that we lived before. It knows about the Buddha. People talk about the development or the technologies in the world, many, many things. And look, Swaminathan explains, in the history of our life in this world, there were many great kings, and then there were very big civilizations like Mohenjo-daro, Harappa, and then Mesopotamia, and then many civilizations we see in the history, in our histories. And then the great people were born in this world, many inventions, many the talented artists. We read about them, we talk about them. Even though we have that kind of a history, developed or undeveloped, maybe wars or something else, there is something very common. Lokusaminasa explains about that. Very common in every human being. That was, we are not satisfied about anything. And then all the time we have the disappointments, and then the sorrow and the suffering, and then what is it called, the arrogance and cruelty, and then the betrayals, and many things happen. It is common in a mind that is not understand the Dhamma. So even though we suffer, even though we find happiness in this world, even though we seek many things through the technologies or many things, we do not find the true happiness. And then that was the biggest question all the time we have in our mind. What is the happiness or something? And it is endless. Everybody, every single one in this world experiences the own karma that we have created in our lives. Okay, every single one, every being separately, personally experiences the result of karma that our that has been done by ourselves, not by anyone else. According to the karma, so the karma is created according to the chetana. You know, chetana is the intention or the mind. Because of the mind, we create our own karma by speech, body, speech, and mind. And our own karma makes our own fate. So among all these things happened in the world, the Acharya Manusa is born in this human world, not anywhere else. Acharya Manusa is the Supreme Buddha, is born in this heavenly world, is in this human world, and then to become the Buddha, to become the enlightened being in this world, he worked hard and harder and harder in the longest period of samsara, collecting good merits. It was not an easy thing. It was not a simple thing. It was not a single period of time. It's not. It's a we don't even think about that. We cannot even think about the time period he came with the idea about uh, being the Buddha in this world. That was something very, very extraordinary. And then this book is written about that Acharya Manusso. And Lokuswaminas explains this Acharya Manusso, the extraordinary human being, was born in India. And then in the time of the Buddha was born, the people called the Buddha, say, as Bhante. You know, you also call the monks as Bhante. And then it was also for the Buddha for the first time. People call the Buddha Bhante. Even in the scriptures, you read this name, people call the Buddha as Bhante, which means sir. And then, oh Bhagava, the blessed one. Sometimes people say Bhagava. Sometimes people call the Supreme Buddha as Sugato, which means the sublime one. Okay, and then sometimes people call the Buddha Mahavira. Do you know this mean? This means Mahavira, the great hero. Veera means hero, the great hero. Sometimes people call the Buddha. And sometimes people call the Buddha as Chakkuma, which means the eye of this world. Huh? It's beautiful, huh? Or the person who has eyes. And then sometimes people call the Buddha Sattha, which means the teacher. And then sometimes people call the Buddha as Buddho, which means the Buddha or the great teacher who teaches the noble teachings. Sometimes some Brahmana people, Brahmins, sometimes they call Samanobho Gautama. They call the Buddha as recluse Gautama. Sometimes the relatives of the Supreme Buddha, mostly from the Kapilavatthu, where he was born, they call the Supreme Buddha Sakya Muni. I like it a lot. Sakya Muni means the sage of the Sakyans. Sakyans are the clan. Sakya is the clan that the Buddha was born in India. It was a high class in India. Sakya, okay? And then Sakya Muni means, Muni is the sage. And then because of that, the Buddha was born in the Sakyan clan. They love to call him Sakya Muni, which means the sage of the Sakyans, Sakyan sage. And the Devas called him Buddha, called the Buddha Marisa, or the sorrowless person, if I am correct. The person who does not have sorrow. And then the Buddha, as usually you know the information, the Buddha was born in India. Do you know the place in India? Close to river Neranjara, at the root of the sacred Bodhi tree. You know, Bodhi tree was born on the same day that the Buddha was born. And then seated under the sacred Bodhi tree is very sacred. If you see my background, I'm not sitting right in front of is my one side. You see the Bodhi tree, our sacred Bodhi tree in the monastery. Buddha became enlightened. And that was the most incredible incident in the history of our life, in the history of this world, most and maybe most extraordinary, or maybe unsurpassing, or maybe I don't know, you know the words to explain the it is the most important incident in the history we see. That was the enlightenment of the Supreme Buddha. That was like a miracle, Loko Swaminathan explains. And then that miracle is the foremost thing that a human being can achieve. There is nothing, something else like the Buddhaship that someone can achieve. There is nothing. So the Buddhaship is the greatest position that someone can achieve. There is nothing beyond that. You understand? And then it was not given by someone else. It's not, the Buddhaship was not given by a Deva. It is not by a Brahma or someone else. It's not, right? This was the understanding, the knowledge came from the heart of the Supreme Buddha in the mind. And that was extraordinary. Becoming a Buddha is not common. It is not common. No, so very rarely a person can be the Buddha, not everybody else. Okay, not anyone else. Very rare. And then it is not frequently happen, and it is not something that we hear all the time in the history of our samsara. It is not. It's very rare, and after a long period of time, Buddhas are born in this human world. Sometimes you might be thinking that we talk about the Supreme Buddha a lot, and we listen to the Dhamma, we practice, and we see on our televisions, we have many programs, we have many books in the libraries. Then the Buddha's teaching is not common, not rare. Everywhere we see, my mother talks, my father talks Buddhism, but in the history of our samsara, it is not something like that. Sometimes we have times that we did not hear the word Buddha for a long period of time. Eons and eons and eons, we had a history that we did not hear the word Buddha, that we did not hear about Dhamma or Sangha, that we did not see a robe of a monk, that we have not practiced generosity, giving and sharing to Bhantes. It is very rare. It is extraordinary, extremely rare. Becoming the Buddha, dedicating lots of things in his life in the samsara, dedicating his life uh, and then dedicating his time in a long period of samsara. He became the Buddha, and then he gave his sublime teaching to the humans and to the devas. That was something, maybe the most fortunate thing that we meet in the longest period of samsara in our lives. This is the most valuable thing, most, I think, precious thing in the history of our samsara. We receive the Dhamma from the Supreme Buddha because of his dedication, because he practiced, he understood the noble truths and he preached. That's why we have this great opportunity to listen to the Dhamma and make our mind faithful and to go for refuge to that noble Dhamma and Sangha with the Buddha. The life of the Supreme Buddha was extremely peaceful and then compassionate and then loving and caring, and then he was the most lovable person or loving person and then loving person, right? And then kindest person in the world. Even to all minds of the people feel the kindness of the Supreme Buddha. Not only the people, Loko Swaminatha says that even to the earth feels the kindness, the softness of the heart of the Supreme Buddha, the compassion, and then his what is it called? His light, huh? And then even to the earth, even to the rivers that flow, huh? They feel the quality of the Supreme Buddha. Even to the trees that bloom flowers, they feel the smell of Supreme Buddha. And then even to the wind that blows, the wind also feels the smell of the quality of the Supreme Buddha. Even to the clouds in the sky, they feel the quality of our supremely enlightened Buddha. Not only that, even to the all other sentient beings like animals, they feel also in their heart also they have that heartbeat with the kindness of our Supreme Buddha. They feel that, and that is the miracle. That is the miracle. The becoming the Buddha was not a simple thing, an easy thing. And then in the longest period of samsara, he suffered a lot to become the Buddha. And then that is called the virya, or the effort in a single person mind. And then having that very powerful effort in his mind, the determination to become the Buddha, he came through this samsara, collecting lots of merit and developing the wholesome qualities. And then finally, eventually, he became the Buddha. And then Loko Swaminatha, at the end of that the part, Loko Swaminatha says, with that, we were very fortunate to listen to the qualities of our Supreme Buddha. That was the other miracle that we had in our life. What was the next miracle? First miracle was becoming the Buddha. Buddha was born in the world. And then the next miracle was we were lucky to listen. We were lucky to hear about the qualities of our Supreme Buddha. That was absolutely a miracle. Why? In the longest period of samsara, we did not get opportunities like this. It's very rare. You know, there are millions of people, millions of people in the human world today, but everybody doesn't know about Buddha. So very rare people, very rarely they talk with, they know about the Buddha. Even though they know about the Buddha, they are maybe they are not fortunate to make their minds confident in the qualities of the Supreme Buddha, and they are very hard to develop their faith as the Saddha in their minds. Okay, and then that was the first part that I expect to talk today, and then I want you to keep this Pali sentence in your mind by heart. I will practice that. Okay, are you ready? If you want to write it down, it is like this. Sattha me bhante bhagava. I just repeat that. Sattha. Sattha. The next word is me. M-E, it is not me, right? Me. The next word, bhante. You know that word. Next word is Bhagava. Full stop or comma. And then the next sentence is Savako. Savako. S-A-V-A-K-O. Savako. The next word is Hamasmi. Ha-ma-is-mi. Hamasmi. And the exclamation mark. And these two sentences are repeated twice, like this. Sattha me bhante bhagava savako hamasmi. Sattha me bhante bhagava savako hamasmi. Sattha me bhante bhagava savako hamasmi. Sir, the Blessed One is the teacher. I am the disciple. You just want to repeat that after me. Sattha me bhante bhagava.
Ame bhante bhagava.
Savako hamasmi.
Savako hamasmi.
Sattha me bhante bhagava.
Satta me bhante bhagava.
Savako hamasmi.
Savako hamasmi.
Sattha me bhante bhagava.
Satta me bhante bhagava.
Savako.
Savako hamasmi.
So when you see the statue of the Supreme Buddha, maybe in the monastery, maybe in your home, in your house, or wherever you see the Supreme Buddha, when you pay your homage, when you worship the Supreme Buddha, maybe you repeat these two sentences again in your mind, okay? Okay, maybe you can teach this to other people as well, if they like. Sattha me bhante bhagava. The Blessed One is the teacher. Savako hamasmi. I am the disciple. Sattha me bhante bhagava. Savako hamasmi. Yes, you would repeat that after me. Sattha me bhante bhagava.
Sattha me bhante bhagava.
Savako hamasmi.
Savako hamasmi.
One more time. Sattha me bhante bhagava.
Sattha me bhante bhagava.
Savako hamasmi.
Savako hamasmi.
The Blessed One is the teacher. I am the disciple. I am the noble disciple of the Supreme Buddha. This is the main message. This is the perfect message that we want to take to our heart. Okay? The Blessed One is the teacher and I am the disciple. And then to get this deep meaning, deeper and deeper into our heart, we just want to know more about Supreme Buddha. And I'm happy I talked something at the beginning of this book. Again, if you have a question, I just give you maybe 2 minutes.
Sorry, Swami Vans, I have a question. Could Swami Vans repeat the meaning of Sattha me bhante bhagava savako hamasmi?
Okay, I give this opportunity to Subodha to explain that. What was the meaning of Sattha me bhante bhagava savako hamasmi?
Sattha me bhante bhagava means the Supreme Buddha is my teacher. But Savako hamasmi means I am the disciple.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. That's correct. I think you heard that. Sattha me bhante bhagava savako hamasmi. This picture in the front page, you see, this picture is the marvelous statue of the Supreme Buddha in our main branch of Polgahawila in the shrine room. So every word we speak today is the good merit we collected. And then we are happy to share this good merit first with our Loku Swamin Wahanse. May our Loku Swamin Wahanse be well and happy and live long. May all the heavenly beings always protect our Loku Swamin Wahanse. And may our Loku Swamin Wahanse be very fortunate to understand the Four Noble Truths very soon in this Buddha's dispensation by the power of this good merit. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. May this good merit be dedicated to all of the heavenly beings, including the King Sakka and four great kings, and all other guardian devas, and all the Brahmas and all the devas live in the human world as well. May they give their full support and protection to these good people to practice the teaching of the Supreme Buddha. May they also be fortunate to understand the noble truths by the power of this good merit. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. May this good merit be dedicated to all of our departed relatives. May they be very fortunate to release from the suffering in the samsara. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. May all of the Bhantes and nuns in the world be well, be happy, and live long, and be very fortunate to practice the Dhamma of the Supreme Buddha and achieve the bliss of Nibbana in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. May you and your family, especially your parents, your teachers, your siblings, and everybody, and especially those who help this program to, how do I say that, to everything organized by a team. And may you also and everybody be very fortunate to practice the Dhamma of the Supreme Buddha. Especially may you be very fortunate to go for refuge to the Supreme Buddha, thinking that my teacher is the Buddha. And wholeheartedly may you be able to say Buddhang Saranang Gacchami. May you be very fortunate to collect good merits and develop wholesome qualities, and be fortunate to be born in a very safe place and meet the supreme teachings again and practice and achieve the ultimate liberation of nirvana in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. I'd like to give you a blessing. You can pay your respect. Sabbetiyo vivajjantu sabbarogo vinassatu mate bhavatvantarayo sukhi digghayuko bhava bhavatu sabba mangalam rakhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sada sutti bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalam rakhantu sabba devata sabba dhammanubhavena sada sutti bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalam shrakkanta sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena sada sutti bhavantu te. May you be very fortunate to understand the noble truths in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation.
Bhante, we would like to ask for forgiveness.
Yes.
In the normal voice.
Okasa kamami pante. Okasa kamami pante.
May you be well, may you be happy, may you live long, may you be fortunate to understand the noble truths in this Buddha's dispensation.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.